Hi, I'm Keith Cotter and welcome to the HSB Academy tutorial session. In today's session we're going to take a look at model groups. Model groups in Revit is a very powerful feature because it aids in design when you have to do a lot of repetitive type of work. And today I can now tell you that hsbDesign fully supports model groups. And we can support that workflow in two different ways. One, we can support it by when we create our item container, we can create model groups at the same moment and hence work with that repetitive design style. Or the second option is we could have an architectural design that has already set up model groups in it, and there we can attach item containers to that model group already without having to set up any model groups. Today I'm going to show you how to work with both options, and let's jump in and see how to do this. So for option one, what we're going to do is draw a simple architectural wall, maybe make it 4 meters long, and we're going to add a window into this as well. So this is nothing special other than a wall with a window contained inside it at the moment. So just for the purposes of this presentation, I've already created a framing style and an opening stick frame style for this particular wall previously. If you don't know how to do this, I'd urge you to look at some previous videos I've done where I've actually shown you how to set up a framing style and an opening style detail. But in this case, what we're now going to do is we're going to add the item container to this particular wall, and we're going to generate the wall. And we get a result like this. I don't have my wall turned off in this case, but I could turn it off in terms of visibility graphics and turn the wall itself off if I wanted to, and get rid of this gray background here, but I'm going to leave it on for now. Okay, we're going to look at that first option of model groups. So here under the item containers, I have an option here called create model group. And all I need to do is select the item container. That knows that all objects linked to this item container will now be contained in the model group. And if I hover over this particular wall now, you can now see there's a model group created. So what I'm now going to do is copy this particular model group to here and get a second repetitive model group in this particular scenario. So at this moment, what I can now do, for example, is I could select this model group, edit group, and say I want to remove this particular beam. I delete it and I finish it, and you can now see it removes the same beam in the other model group. Simultaneously, I could pick it in this model group, go edit group, and for example I could delete that particular beam here like this and finish it, and it'll also remove it from here as well. Or, and this is what's really nice, notice I am now not in any editing mode for the groups, so you can see these are the two groups in question here. If I use the generate option here, it knows that it can select the item container within the model group. So imagine if this model group had multiple walls in there, you could pick an item container, select it, and frame it. And you will now see that the resultant frame also over here gets updated with the exact same changes as we have here. So you can now see that we can fully support the model group creation while we're working with item containers in hsbDesign, and that concludes our option one of how we can use model groups. So option number two, I'm going to draw 3 architectural walls like this, and I'm going to add in a window in this case, and the result is we now have this scenario. So option number two would be a scenario where you receive a design file, and in there is already model groups defined by the architect in question. So they would have essentially selected these walls like I'm doing now, created a model group. I'm using the default name and I'm going to say OK. And I'm then going to copy this particular group to here. So you may receive a model, something very similar to this. So for option number 2, what we can now do is under HSB stick frame, what we can do is I can attach item containers already to an existing model group. So you can see here, when I select these item containers and pick finish, it will now attach the item containers to the other group as well. And here you can see that the item containers are now attached to the other group as well. And if I now go to generate and I pick this particular item container here and pick finish, you will now see that it generates the framing not only on this particular model group, but on the corresponding model groups that will be linked to this particular one as well. And hence you can see we are fully supporting model groups that are already defined within the model itself. And simultaneously I could then select all of these item containers, and likewise these all get updated as well. So 2 different workflows and 2 different possibilities with model groups. Hope you enjoyed them. Thank you for watching. I'm Keith Potter and hope to see you in future sessions.